Jazz, the brilliant new album from Queen. Jazz, with Queen's electrifying hit singles, Bicycle Race, and Fat Bottom Girls. Jazz, out now on Elektra Records and Tapes.
Right, so in this week's feedback feature, we're going to hear a few tasty guitar techniques from Brian May, the lead guitarist with Queen. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you, Mike.
First of all, let me ask you, where did this amazing guitar come from? Because it doesn't look like a shop guitar to me.
No, I made it myself about 10 years ago, in fact, when I was at school, just showing how old I am, with my father. And it was made with some special ideas in mind to get the effects that I wanted.
What sort of effects are those? I mean, because I know you like natural effects rather than effects for effect's sake.
Yes, I wanted to use the voicing of an electric guitar to its fullest, as opposed to just an amplified acoustic guitar. And a lot of things were built with that in mind. It was built to have a lot of sustain. So normally, if you play a guitar without much amplification, it'll just go, just does that kind of thing. If you turn it up, and the body is built right so that you get acoustic feedback, it'll sustain for quite a long time, like this. In fact, if I was standing near the amplifier, you would sustain longer.
You get a very rough sort of sound in it. I see that you're playing with a sixpenny piece, an old sixpenny piece. Yes,
I've always used these for as long as I can remember. They're very versatile because you can get a very sharp effect by using the serrations. And you get a complete contact with the string because every little touch you can feel with your fingers. And you can also use them straight, in which case they make quite a mellow sound. So the mellow sound would be like this. Whereas if you turn it sideways, it'll go... In fact, the guitar was built with that in mind as well. I wanted to get a large tonal range, so that's why we have 3 pickups. And I have the ability to change the phases of the pickups. So if I use 2 pickups together, it'll make a sound like this. And if I reverse the phase of one of the pickups, it goes very trebly. Like this.
And you can, I notice you're bending the notes quite a long way. You've got your strings very, very slack, it seems.
Yes, I do work with slack strings. Not as... there are limits to how slack you can have them because, as you were saying earlier, you get to the point where you can't play chords in tune. But I like them fairly slack so that you can push them up a long way, because that's a very important thing about an electric guitar.
So how high can you push those?
These will go up about a fifth. This particular string will go up a fifth or so. This is...
What about the other end of the scale, the downwards
The tremolo will take it down. This is a special design of tremolo which I put on and made myself, and this will take the strings down like this. On a good day, that will go down about an octave or so.
You say you put your own tremolo on. Did you make that yourself?
Yes, I made that all myself as well. It's filed out of mild steel and balanced on a knife edge.
Obviously, you've got to be fairly precise when making these. You can't just stick them on any old how.
No, there's a lot of thought goes into it. You have to make sure that the thing can bear the stress of the strings apart from anything else, because guitars tend to bend unless they're very carefully made.
What about other techniques? I mean, is it possible to make your guitar sound a little bit like any other instruments at all? Yes,
depending, particularly in the studio, if you get the right conditions, if you put the microphone in the right place and you get in the right place relative to the amplifier, you can get continuous sounds which sound more like a cello. So perhaps something like this. And the conditions aren't perfect, but that's the kind of continuous thing you can do.
Cellists beware. This hissing, this almost phasing sound I can hear.
That is phasing, yes.
Yeah, that is a phasing.
I was using a phase pedal then, yeah, which is one of the effects which I do like to use on stage, because it gives the guitar a little bit more sustain and a little bit more depth, and it also has a nice top edge to get the clarity of the single notes out. The other effect I use, which you're probably going to ask me about, is the echoplex, which is in fact a modified echoplex, and it gives me, instead of an echo effect, it gives me a single repeat effect. So I can play a phrase and it'll come back at me, and I can play another phrase on top which can be in harmony or in counterpoint, or I can play a chord once and then play a lead on top of it.
So it's like building bricks, you just build up.
Exactly, yes, you can build up things. And it needs a lot of care, it needs a bit of playing around with to know the things which work and the things which don't, because you can get in a terrible mess if you play the wrong things.
I can imagine.
Obviously.
Well, Brian, it's been great to come along. Sorry we haven't got any more time, and it's been great to show you to show us some techniques. Maybe we could go out with you playing Frere Jacques or some such thing that you can
Yes.
build up and
Okay.
show us how the Echoplex works.
Okay, this is the Frere Jacques thing that you mentioned can be done with just one repeat, and you play the phrase and it'll come back, so you'll see this. Basically, I play a note, and it comes back, okay. So I can play this phrase that goes... which is kind of fun. The full effect is to use, as I do, the other repeat as well, so I can build up 3-part harmonies, and that goes like this.
What can I say?
Mistakes.
Thank you. My guitar
Thanks, Mark.
playing will never seem the same after that. We'll see you next week in another feedback feature. Meanwhile, it's back to me.
Yeah, 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 ooh yeah, 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 yeah. All right, we're gonna play with you. Now I'm here. Now I'm here. Think I'll stay. Think I'll stay. Round, 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 round. Oh yeah.
Comme promis ce soir, un reportage exclusif sur Queen, réalisé lors de leur dernier passage à Bruxelles. Queen est à présent le groupe de variété le plus populaire en Belgique et il accumule les disques d'or. Dans le film, il y a pas mal d'acteurs. Il y a l'accordeur de piano, le promoteur du concert, le chef des techniciens, le responsable de la table de mixage, les gorilles du groupe et puis le public, dont vous étiez peut-être. En tout, une super production avec 8623 acteurs et figurants.
Set that one down. Set it down a bit. Right. You've got to come down. Upstage. Upstage. No. Sat here. Okay. Whoa. No. Hey, Rick. What? Let us get this together, all right? Somebody take the middle, please. Yeah. Okay. All right. Higher, in my professional opinion, no, they're basically clean. Except for the ones who come to Tunes gigs and Queen tour gigs.
Oh, good. That's better.
Oh, that is not a problem for me. No? No, you may, yeah, it's not a problem.
Okay, this one's a little difficult, so I'll take this one.
No, I can arrange.
Queen est une compagnie, hein, ouais, c'est pas uniquement les 4 gens qui sont sur scène, il y a peut-être 20 qui sont payés dans l'équipe de Queen sur une base de toute une année, même s'ils ne travaillent pas ou même s'ils sont en studio. Alors si Queen, par exemple, décide de faire la tournée en Europe, on est contacté d'abord pour disponibilité des salles, etc. Alors eux, de leur côté, ils font leur planning parce que bon, on ne peut pas faire, par exemple, lundi Berlin, mardi Bruxelles, jeudi Copenhague. Ils font une planning sur toute une tournée et ensuite ils font une sorte de préparation dans le sens que tout est établi ce qu'ils veulent comme point de vue lumière, hein, et ce sont des compagnies différentes qui travaillent dans toute la structure de Queen. Queen fait appel à une compagnie pour organiser tout ce qui concerne les voyages, les tickets d'avion, les hôtels, etc. Queen fait appel à une compagnie qui fournit un road crew qui est bien connu ici dans toutes les salles en Europe. Queen fait appel à une autre compagnie qui fait les lumières, hein, et c'est une compagnie, par exemple, les lumières, c'est TRA Electrosound, et c'est une compagnie de Los Angeles. Alors, Queen fait appel à des compagnies sur même les petits points concernant nourriture des musiciens, nourriture des techniciens, etc. Et vous voyez, comme on a vu tantôt, toute une cuisine est installée dans une des loges.
Sur les 2 concerts, il va y avoir combien de monde?
Entre 16 000 et 17 000 personnes.
Queen était venu en 78 et ils avaient joué 3 concerts à Foire nationale. Et là, c'était encore plus de monde ou...
Sur les 3 concerts, on a fait 21 000 personnes, ouais.
Pourquoi
Disons, mais maintenant, on pouvait faire encore 2 jours aussi parce que je viens juste de parler avec les directions de forêt. Ils pensent qu'ils avaient pu encore faire 2 jours en surplus.
Tellement il y a eu de demandes pour les tickets.
Oui, il y a plus de tickets à Bruxelles à partir du début de la semaine. Et selon forêt ici, la demande est si énorme qu'on pouvait encore faire 2 jours.
Et pourquoi est-ce que ça n'a pas été possible?
Parce qu'il n'y a plus de dates disponibles. On est un peu limité. Si Queen doit suivre toutes les demandes, il doit faire 600 concerts sur une année et on n'a que 365 jours. Une tournée fait beaucoup de stress, ça veut dire qu'ils aiment bien d'avoir des hôtels qui sont de première classe, que les voitures, les limos sont prêts quand ils arrivent à l'aéroport, parce qu'ils ne voient que ça en tournée, hein. Ce sont les aéroports, ce sont les hôtels, ce sont les salles et les intérieurs des limousines.
Combien de temps as-tu passé à la préparation des 2 concerts de Queen?
Disons que c'est assez simple, Queen. Hein. De certaine manière, avec Queen, j'ai moins de travail parfois que pour un concert à l'ancienne Belgique. Tout le monde ici a une responsabilité. Il le fait tout à fait. Dans l'équipe de Queen, hein, il y a un agent de voyage qui règle tout concernant les hôtels. Bon, moi, je fais les petits points du contrat.
So come and get me. Let me get in that singing feeling that says my heart is on a long time road. So don't expect me to behave perfectly, and when that sunny smile, my guess is I'm in for a cloudy and overcast. Don't try and stop me, 'cause I'm headed for that stormy weather soon. I'm causing a mild sensation with this new occupation. I'm coming very rude song.
He's on TV.
Let me take over with my melancholy blues.
Well, in advance, we usually spend about 8 weeks of, you know, office preparation and this kind of thing. I've had physical work, but, you know, we might be talking and booking equipment and that kind of stuff maybe 3 months in advance, 4 months in advance.
You created the light show with Queen.
Yes, with Queen and the lighting director, we discuss what will work and what won't work, you know, because there's a lot of materials involved, you know.
How long does it take on the day of the show to put on all the material?
When it's supported from the roof like this, from 8 o'clock in the morning till about 5 o'clock in the evening. And if it's ground supported, you know, by towers, then it takes from about midnight the night before to go in. If we have to build a system that holds it up, you know, from the floor.
How many roadies do you need?
There's 17 plus truck drivers, etc., etc. Probably a total of about 22, 23, about 25 people.
With who have you worked before?
Oh, many different people. Elton John, Three Dog Night, Jimi Hendrix, and many different tours.
So you've seen all the evolution of the technical equipment?
Yeah, yes. I've been doing it since 1966.
Don't you think that the groups are going too far in the big equipment, big lights?
Not really. I mean, it all depends. The audience seemed to like it. I guess, you know, it's possible. I mean, it's... I don't know. I don't think they're going too far, you know. It's... The audience seemed to like it. It's a show. It's a big production, you know.
When did it change, really?
The change probably came around, I guess, about 72, when the show started to grow bigger and bigger, I guess. It was about 1972.
Compared to other groups, how do you qualify Queen's equipment?
It's a large production. Yeah, it's about as many lights as you could put up in one day, you know, and do a concert somewhere else the next day, you know.
During all your career, so you've worked with Jimi Hendrix and a lot of people. Who did you prefer?
None, really. They're just, you know, I enjoy working with most people. You know, I don't think you can say one person was better than the others.
Jimi Hendrix must have been a great experience.
It was a good experience, yeah. Was at the time you didn't realize what a great experience it was, you know, because it was just doing shows. But yeah, it was quite an experience.
And with Queen?
With Queen, yeah, it's quite an experience.
We meet again. It's really nice to be back. You want to rock? You want to roll? Okay, let's do it. Oh.
The live show is the lifeblood of what we do in many ways, because we're probably one of the few groups in the world at the moment who spend a lot of time recording and touring, and we try and put an equal emphasis on the two.
Yeah.
So we spend anything up to 3 months making one album, which everybody thinks is a long time, but we then come out and get down there and just play the stuff to our audience, and that's the time when we get the feedback, I suppose. So it's always a kind of exciting time when you just finished an album project and you go out and take it on the road and put the new songs on stage and see what people think of them. And we're very lucky in that people tend to understand what we do, and we don't feel that we have to adapt ourselves to the audience. We feel that people understand what we want to do as musicians. So we're in a fortunate position in that way.
It's a song called Fat Bottom Girls. You gonna take me home tonight? Down beside your red firelight. You gonna let it all hang out? Fat bottom girls who make the rockin' world go round.
I feel like every album since A Night at the Opera has repeats the same schemes.
Really?
Oh, what are you saying?
I don't agree.
No, I don't agree. I would say Day at the Races does and was meant to. News of the World, our last album, I think it's very different, totally different to both of those.
Yeah, News of the World was a complete reversal, really, because we got more and more complex up to A Night at the Opera and A Day at the Races, which were kind of twin albums, we felt. And at that point we felt we had to go back and kind of start again with the very simple things. And News of the World is really very straight rock album, you know, there's almost no extra overdubbing, you know. And on this album we've sort of changed again, and we're trying out some new directions, we feel. I don't see at all that they're similar. The
No, we don't. We never consciously try to repeat.
It's a strobe, which lights up a disc which has a lot of stripes on it, and when you're exactly in tune, the strobe works in such a way that, yeah, it appears to be stationary. So that's a little flat, because the things are moving this way, and that's a little sharp. So if it's in tune, they stay like that. It's a very useful device, because you can do it with noise around. It's a problem with the guitars, and it's a problem with the people also, because you get hot and you sweat and then you come off and it's really cold and you get cold in the head or something, you know. And to perform nearly every night you need to be very physically on top, I think. You have to be very very fit. If you go a little bit underneath and you're on the tour, that's it, you know. Everything's a problem. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like being an athlete or something. You have to be physically right all the time.
You keep in touch with today's rock scene, like the new groups?
As much as we can. We're not in our native country very much these days. We're generally either touring or recording, and we do both of those things outside England now, so we're probably less in touch with Britain than we were. But we listen as much as we can to the new people, yeah.
Is there any group you like?
I thought you were going to ask that.
Go on, name a few. We'll think of it.
Like, oh yeah, I could name a few. Like Devo or Talking Heads.
Yeah. Oh yes,
Yeah?
two good ones. I think.
Kraftwerk?
No, not for me. No.
Public Image?
No, the album is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible album. Very disappointing.
Yeah, concerning punk, 2 years ago, the new wave exploded. Did you feel threatened by new wave at the moment or never?
Hard question.
Very difficult to say. We're aware of it, you know, but I think one must always be aware in this sort of industry, and we know what's going on. But to be frightened of it—that's the wrong word. I think.
Yeah, it was never really commercially successful. It just wasn't. I mean, there are probably 2 or 3 big albums, and now 2 or 3 groups have come out of that. The good stuff has sort of lasted, or tended to. But
it made us out to be the bad guys as well, which is one way probably good, because it gave us more publicity, because we were meant to be bad, therefore they could happen, because I mean we're into all this.
But it seems to have died now, you know, just a few bands.
In the end, it's the talent that remains.
Yeah, maybe.
So, you know.
Take me, take me. Take me on a plane now. You make my life worthwhile with the slightest smile. You destroy me with a belly who steps upon his bond. Gently take me. Remember I'm dreaming of my baby, and the dream is born.
Many punk musicians say hard things about groups, superstar groups like you are.
Yeah. But they're very inexperienced. It's very hard to say these things when you haven't played that many shows, you know.
It's called jealousy.
Especially in a big...
But that happens all the time. I mean, when we started, we were jealous of... who were we jealous of? Led Zeppelin.
Were we?
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose
We wanted to be there. It's this sort of goal that you want to reach, you know, and then...
Yeah.
It's all healthy.
I think it's really talking about a fashion. It was a fashion at the time, and it was a useful vehicle for people to make a noise. You know, if you say we're very much against what is going on at the moment, and I mean, in my opinion, most of what actually happened in the punk thing was a reversal, going back to what the kind of thing which we developed from. You know, I think it's more of a fashion than an actual musical development, I would say.
He had no luck at all. Nothing came easy to him. Now it was time. He made up his mind. This could be my last chance. His back's up to him. You're always driven. You don't know the option. You won't get anywhere far.
Sometimes you've been badly treated by the rock press.
Very badly back home.
Usually. Abused.
They don't like us, we don't like them.
A lot of people spend their time making up good things to say to the press and don't go out and work. They don't play rock and roll. They just do interviews most of the time and make a few records. But we just tour and record and work. In fact, we're wonderful people.
Another party's over, and I'm left cold sober. Baby left me for somebody new. I don't wanna talk talk about it, want to forget about it, wanna be intoxicated with that special groove.
Thank you, good evening. Welcome to a concentrated dose of Queen music tonight. We have a song from some years ago for you. This is called Somebody to Love. Can you find me? Can you find me somebody to love? Let's go. We're gonna have some fun tonight, all right? Okay. This next song comes from an album called Jazz. This is a John Deacon composition entitled If You Can Beat 'Em, Try It Out! for you tonight from all the various albums. This next song is from an album called A Night at the Opera. The song in question is dedicated to a manager of his who had a long transaction. Do you know his name? You can call him anything you want. We call him Death on Toulouse.
Never just the same way.
Yoku kikoemasu ka? Good. Good.
Your turn.
Yeah.
Maybe you should try and do something like this, eh? To the beat. Yeah. I like it. Take me. Oh, take me. Yeah. You big show. You big show. Be your baby, used to be your pride and joy. I sure did. Used to take me dancing, just like any other boy. You sure did that, honey. But now you found another partner, to be like a broken toy. Well, someone else you taking, someone else you playing to right. And though I'm aching, I know just what I have to do. If I can have you when I'm waking, I'll go to sleep and dream I'm with you. Take me to the dreamer's bar. Hey. I'll be right on time, and I'll dress so fine. You're gonna love me when you see the child. You won't have to hurry. Take me, promise not to wake me till this morning. And it's all the truth. Right down you on me. I like it. Right down that 42nd Street, Lake Town, Dreamers Town. Yeah. So take me, I can play it now. Oh, hey. You make my life worthwhile with the slightest smile. You destroy me with a very perceptible whisper. Gently take me, remember I'll be dreaming of my baby at the dreamer's bar. To the dreamer's bar. Take me right there. Oh.
Thank you. Is this where the rest of the group take a break? Kono uta wa somebody. No, hang on. Ah, love of my life, desu.
He's too much.
I think that's what he's called anyway.
take it away from me, because you don't know what it means to me. Love of my life, don't leave me. You've stolen my love, you now desert me. Love of my life, can't you see? Bring it back, bring it back. Don't take it away from me, because you don't know what it means to me. You remember when this is blown over and everything's all back up. When I grow older, I will be there at your side. To remind you how I still love you, I still love you. Hurry back, don't take it away from me, because you don't know what it means to me. Love of my life, love of my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Roger Taylor on the drums. And on bass, Mr. John Deacon. And on tambourine, Mr. Freddie Mercury. I was on tambourine. Okay. Hey.
In the year of 39, some will hear the falling spears. In the days when the lands were few, and the ship sailed out to the blue and misty morn, sweetest side of the sea. And the night followed day, and the storytellers say the score brave souls inside. For some many a lonely day sailed across the milky seas, never looked back, never feared, never cried. Don't you hear my call? Though you're many years away, don't you hear me calling you? Write your letters in the sand for the day I take your hand in the land that I went to with you. ship came from the blue. The volunteers came home that day, and they bring good news from a world so newly born. Though their hearts so heavily weigh. Now the earth is rolling gray, to a new home we'll away. But my love, this cannot be, for so many years have gone. Now I'm older, buddy, yeah. Your mother's eyes, in your eyes, cry to me. Don't you hear my call, though you're many years away? Don't you hear me calling you? Write your letters in the sand, for the day I take your hand, in the land that I granted to renew. All together. Don't you hear my call, though you're many years away? Don't you hear me calling you? All your letters in the sand cannot heal me like your hand. All my life still ahead, pity me.